3 police officials from PIERRE, South Dakota were responding to a so-called suicidal 8-year-old girl who had a knife. It was a 4.5-inch blade. And so they arrive and they say that the girl was being very, very difficult. So to handle the situation and to restrain her, they felt that the best thing to do was to tase her in her chest. Okay. So I feel like these stories are being covered on a daily basis on this show, and I apologize for that, but I feel it's important to bring this up. I think that this story is particularly crazy because it involves an 8-year-old. Now, the police officials had told the police chief that the reason why they did that was because the 8-year-old had stabbed herself in the leg with the knife, and they felt that she was a real danger to them and to herself. So that's why they tased her, except when she was taken to the hospital, she had absolutely no injuries on her leg.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That makes it even worse. Okay, now look, we've covered the 80-some-odd-year-old guy getting the shotgun beanbag, internal bleeding dead. We covered the Down syndrome kid asphyxiated because they thought he was a danger. We covered the guy just yesterday that was killed because they called paramedics because he'd overdosed on a medication for diabetes. And they're like, oh, you need help? And they shot him. Okay, they're like, I don't know, he seemed kind of dangerous. He was flipping out. He was flipping out because he was overdosing on his diabetes medication and needed your help, not your bullets, okay? Now, in this case, look, at least she had a weapon, right? So that makes it a little bit more understandable.
Yeah, she's 8.
But she's, I know, but she's 8, right? And so, now here's the reality. Look, I know this is a little goofy, but when I was a kid, I had like a fake knife, right? Like a fake switchblade, right? Which is, these days, is a terrible idea. Your kid has that, he's gonna get shot at some point, right? But, and I played this trick with a lot of people, and I would have them try to stab me, and it was actually surprisingly easy to get the knife away. Okay, if you know just a little bit, and I had no training. The cops presumably have training, right? The only person I couldn't get it away from was my best friend Khan, who, like, because everybody would come in like this, and then you can grab the knife in different tricks. Khan came in like this, right? And I was like, oh, I'm stabbed. Okay, now, so I get it, right? So it's obviously some danger, but she's 8. And you're trained. And the thing is, and this is what's really important.
There are 3 of you. There are 3 adult police officers.
And this is what's really important. We trained you so you wouldn't have to tase 8-year-olds. And I know you're taking a risk. And I'm not belittling that risk. I'm just saying that's part of your job, right? It's like if it's a guy's got a gun, you don't have to take that risk. You don't have to play with your life. You got a family. I understand that, right? But if a girl has a 4.5-inch blade that you think she might do damage to herself with, well, then you're already damaging her by tasing her. So find a way, take a little bit of risk. I think that's acceptable to try to get that blade away because you're a professional.
So let me jump in. The little girl spent the night, over 24 hours at the hospital as a result of being tased. Remember, these tasers are built for adults. They're not built for 8-year-olds. So it has a much severe impact on a young kid as opposed to an adult, and sometimes it has a really bad impact on adults as well, especially if you have a heart condition. Now, the incredible part of this story is that these 3 officials are still working, they're still getting paid, they haven't faced any consequences or an internal investigation at this point, and part of the reason why is because the police chief is making the argument that, hey, you know what, these people actually did the right thing. In fact, his quote is, he quite possibly saved the juvenile's life that night. He also continued to say,
buying it.
He said that we can't control if the threat is 8 or 80. That's a little sad. That's a little sad. Maybe you need better training. How about that?
No, but you should be able to control the threat if it's 8 or 80. Like, I get it if it's like a huge guy, 27 years old, and you had trouble controlling the threat. I think we're reasonable, right? And so, I'm not saying you got to fire the guys, but you got to give them better training. You know, you can't just look. It's gotten so bad that at the end of the story, I was a little relieved because they didn't shoot her. Like, oh, she might be a danger to herself with her knife, so let's make sure we cut that danger out by shooting her. You think it can't happen? We've unfortunately covered way too many stories. So they at least tased her, right? But again, she spent 24 hours in the hospital. There's a better way.